Welcome back, welcome in, welcome one, and welcome all back to another episode of Quiet Storm Sports on the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel. I am your host, Sutton Def, and we got a lot to get into today, guys. A whole lot to get into. First and foremost, please be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel as well if you do like daily Ravens content, because that's what we do here at PRP. And we don't just cover Ravens, right? Lately, we've been covering more MMA. We're going to get into soccer. World Cup is right around the corner as well. So there's a lot of big things planned here for the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel. If you do not want to miss out on any of that, again, please be sure to not only leave a like on this video, but if you're new, consider subscribing. Again, this is another episode of Quiet Storm Sports. Let's go ahead and get it started. Yes. So we are back with yet another episode of Quiet Storm Sports. Welcome in, everybody. As you guys know, we are live right now. But listen, in case you're not watching live and you're part of the hashtag replay gang, please do me a big favor. Put hashtag replay gang down below in the comment section and let me know your thoughts, questions, comments, concerns on anything I say here in this episode of the show, because I have a feeling some of you guys might get a little pissed off with me with what I have to say. It's not the most comfortable conversation to have, but I feel like it needs to be had here. We're in the dead of the offseason. The combine, the NFL combine is this week, and there's been some news coming out about this Ravens team, what their plans are going forward in terms of free agency, in terms of all that good stuff, you know. So listen, again, take what I say with a grain of salt, because it might not be comfortable. It might not be the most comfortable. Just saying. All right. But before we do that, let me give a shout out to who's here in the live chat right here. Let me see. We got Shelly Shell in the chat. That's one of our members in the house. Ashley says, what's going on? What's going on, Ashley? I see you in the chat. We got Glaucoma says Sutton wearing the shades inside must be high. Not me. Not me. Not today. Wink, wink. Right. Let me see. Don, what's going on, Don? Tanja Bowman's in the house as well. We got Tila, the moderator, is in the chat as well. Shout out to Tila. I see Zico Kage is in here as well. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I don't want to miss anybody. Let me keep scrolling. Daryl, what's up? What's up? Says, I'm interested to see what you got to say tonight. Yeah, somebody's lying. Someone is lying. That is the overall overarching theme of this episode, right? Someone's lying to us. I don't know if it's Eric DaCosta. Actually, I know it's Eric DaCosta. And again, we're going to get into it. I got some quick hitters for you first before we get into the meat and potatoes of this episode. But thank you for coming through. Let me see who else we got in here. Black Daniels, what's going on? Black Daniels, appreciate you for coming through. Glaucoma says, stay off the weed. And I actually have, nor am I sipping, nothing like that. My lady actually got me these glasses here, these Ray-Ban Meta shades, and I just realized she got them for me for Valentine's Day. And I just realized I'd never worn them on stream before, and they were on my desk, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna throw these on, right? That way I can record y'all while I'm being recorded, right? Just like that. I love these things. And shout out to my lady for getting them for me for Valentine's Day. King Lee, what up, man? Appreciate you for coming through. Beeman X5, what's going on, Beeman Bros? The Beam Bros are in the chat, man. A Baltimore staple. If y'all don't know Against the Grain, y'all better get hip. Shout out to y'all brothers, man. Dark Bird says, call. What's going on, Dark Bird? Quoney is in the house as well. Let me see. Lil said it. What up? And yeah. Again, if you're watching the replay, gang, I know that can be a tough listen sometimes, me calling out everybody who's here in the live chat, but shout out to you if you're watching the replay of this episode. Again, be sure to like the video, subscribe, and comment down below what your thoughts are. Okay, so like I said, I want to start with a couple of quick hitters today, right? And before we get into who I think is lying, because I think that there's being lies spread by the upper management of the Ravens. But number one, did you guys or did you not hear about the NFL coming out and admitting months later that they might have made some mistakes in the officiating for some of the Ravens games, specifically the week, 9 matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers at home, where there were a couple of questionable calls. Not one, not two, maybe three, I think it was. A couple of questionable calls, non-calls, things like that, reversals. Did you guys hear about that? Because I did. And I wasn't too happy. I didn't take too kindly to reports coming out today that the NFL watched that stuff back and basically said, "Oh yeah, I mean, we wish we could have that one back." You know. Now the one where likely caught the touchdown, he took the 3 steps, and then he got the ball knocked out. They said that that wasn't one of the ones that they wish that they could have back. I think I have the article for you guys. Let me see if I have the article. I'm pretty sure I do. Let's see. Right here. Troy Vincent suggests crucial replay reversal on Isaiah Likely touchdown versus Steelers was wrong. He suggested. Let me read this article for you guys in case you didn't hear, because we're going to react to it here, and I want to get you guys's thoughts in the chat. So make sure you leave that down below. Says one of the biggest calls of this NFL season came in the Week 14 Ravens Steelers game. So it was not Week 9; it was Week 14. I'm sorry. When Baltimore's Isaiah Likely scored what appeared to be a go-ahead touchdown with 2:47 remaining in the fourth quarter, only to have the on-field officials ruling overturned by replay. Now, NFL Executive VP of Football Operations Troy Vincent is suggesting the on-field officials were right that day, and the replay reversal was wrong. Vincent told Mark Mask that the likely play was among a handful of replay rulings that the league officials had second thoughts about. There was 2 plays in particular. Vincent said there was the likely play, and then there was another play with the Jets on that same week, I want to say. But it was the likely play that you go, that was interesting because of the third step, and they were talking about the ball being extended out. So what constitutes the third act, right, to complete a catch? Because if you guys remember, Isaiah Likely caught the football, had 2 solid hands on, like a firm grip, like firmly grasp it. That's what he was doing, right? Had the ball extended away from the defender and took 3 steps, and then it got knocked out. And on the field, they called it a touchdown. But the guys up in New York in the replay booth, who, like I said at the time, cosplay as the football gods, making these decisions in games that they're not there to see how the game is living and breathing. They're not there to see or to talk to the officials and say, hey, why did you make that call? Right? They might give them a call over the phone and say, hey, look, we're doing this. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the football gods in New York, they reversed the call. Let's continue reading, though. It says, and I quote, it does not engender a lot of confidence in the league's officiating when league executives are still not clear on what constitutes a third act necessary to completing a catch. And Vincent's statement does not conclusively say that the replay overturn was wrong, but it sounds like the league now thinks the ruling on the field of a Ravens touchdown should have stood. Right. And let me continue reading before I give another take on this. If the touchdown had counted, the Ravens probably would have won that game. That's a fact. Change the result of that game and the Ravens win the AFC North, as they would have finished tied with the Steelers in the standings and would have won the tiebreaker based on a better division record. If the Ravens had won the AFC North, John Harbaugh might still be their coach. Someone else would be coaching the Giants. A lot would be different. And listen, guys, before I go any further, I understand that if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. You guys all know the saying. So there's no really real point. You know, we're not benefiting ourselves by talking about what if. And if we're being honest here, maybe in hindsight's always 2020, maybe that was for the better. Right? Maybe the replay officials reversing that call actually ended up benefiting the Ravens. Maybe Tyler Loop missing that field goal in week 18 benefited the Ravens, because if those 2 things were to not happen, John Harbaugh is probably still the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. Would you guys agree? Harbaugh would probably still be the head coach of the Ravens today had those 2 things not happened. And Harry Holland, what's going on, Harry? Says, we are better without Harbaugh. I totally agree with that, which is why I'm still mad at it for what I'm about to read next, but I can only be but so mad, if you get what I'm saying. I can only be but so mad because we would not be here with a new head coach, new OC, new DC, and looking forward to towards the future had those things not happened the way that they did. But let me keep reading here. So Troy Vincent, again, VP of Football Operations for the NFL, he acknowledged that there was some replay reviews he is second guessing, and he said most of those came in the early Sunday afternoon window when there are several games going on at once and the league's replay office is slammed. Listen up. Let me read that one more time. Then I'll keep going, right? Vincent acknowledged that there were some replay reviews that he is second guessing, and he said most of those reviews came in the early Sunday afternoon window, so the 1 o'clock games, when there are several games going on at once, and the league's replay office is slammed. Now, don't get me wrong, but I thought that, and maybe it stop me when I'm wrong here. I thought that the NFL, last time I checked, was a multi-billion dollar organization, not million, multi-billion dollar organization. So you're telling me that when Sunday at 1 o'clock rolls around and you only have you don't have enough guys reviewing these games from New York for there's one game per man. Like you don't have enough guys to officiate from New York each game. Like how are you slammed? How are you at in any way? Again, multi-billion dollar company by the way. How do you not hire enough guys to where you don't get slammed in a 1 o'clock window? By the way, you know exactly how many games are going to be played, and you probably have the analytics for how many times you're going to need replay officials just based off of averages and history and things like that. It's the lack of preparedness for me that really kind of like makes me think like what are we talking about? Black Daniel says there's a bottleneck on the supply chain. Like how where? How does that happen? How in the hell does that happen if you're the NFL? You were slammed? I mean, we're acting like this is a pizza parlor on 28th Street and two people called out of work. This ain't that. This ain't that at all. This is America's number one pastime. And again, I'll keep saying it, a multi-billion dollar company who was telling us, "Oh yeah, that 1 p.m. window, man, there's just so many games. We only have about 3 4 guys in office. This is a lot for them to handle. Hire more people. I know you can't be paying them that much to where you can only get 3 4 maybe 5 guys in there when there's 8 9 games going on at one time. It's inexcusable. It's inexcusable. But I'll keep reading this article. It says, when you watch, there was about 5 plays, Vincent said, of the 171 plays that we called on replay or replay assist that came back to the booth. There were 5 that we said if we had to do it again on just the replay assist in general. Of that 171 that occurred during the regular season, there were 5 after we kind of took a step back and breathed. The grammar in this article is horrible. NBC Sports do better. After we kind of took a step back and breathed, 4 of them were in the 1 o'clock window. Just volume, and you go, if we had to do that one again, just looking at it. The idea that the NFL officiating is going to be worse in the 1 o'clock window because the league officiating office has too many games to follow at once should not be acceptable to anyone. Bingo. The league needs to make sure its officiating office is fully staffed at all times with competent officials who can make the right call every single time. There's been a couple of updates that have come out throughout the day on this article as well. One update that came out this morning at 8:30 a.m. says an NFL spokesman clarified with PFT that while the likely play was discussed in detail, it was not one of the handful that Vincent was referring to that the league would like to have back, which makes no sense to me. You guys say hello to Ace. You guys know he's here in the background with me while I stream all the time, and he's always ruining it for everybody. Yeah, you. But anyways, he says hello to the Rain Gang. You guys know what it is. Dark Bird says, I'm looking for another side gig. I could be that guy. Exactly. Exactly. I could be that guy. If y'all looking for some part-time employees, shoot, I'll fly to New York on Sundays. You ain't even got to pay me that much. Just cover the flights. Cover the flights. For some of you who live on the East Coast, near and around New York, DMV area, cover the bus ticket, the train fare, whatever. We can get some people up in that office. That ain't no problem. If you need employees, that ain't no problem. Put us through a little training, all cool. Most of us know more football than these referees do anyway, which is saying something, by the way. Let me see. What up, Coach? Appreciate you for coming through, Coach. You guys saying what's up to Ace? Yeah, he'd be in the background. He'd be in the background. Or I could do it from home. Exactly. Dark versus we could do it from home. The point is, it's just inexcusable for a company that makes that much money to use the excuse that, like, yeah, we were just slammed. You should have guys on call. You should have guys on backup. Again, this is not the pizza parlor where the cook calls out and then you're fucked for the afternoon rush. Excuse my language. It's not that. Let's keep it moving though. 65 people watching live. Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for coming through to this episode of Quiet Storm Sports. Again, someone is lying. The league is lying. Let me see. There was another update that came out at 11:30. The NFL has confirmed that Vincent did acknowledge another play in that Steelers-Ravens game. The interception thrown by Aaron Rodgers was ruled correctly on the field and should not have been overturned on replay. So that Aaron Rodgers interception where he goes up, he catches it, and he's kind of wrestling for it with Teddy Buchanan, and Teddy Buchanan ends up coming down with it. Aaron Rodgers did not survive the ground after he technically threw a pass, went up to complete the catch himself, but did not survive the ground with it, and Teddy Buchanan came up with it. They called that an interception on the field. But again, the football gods up in New York, they said, nah, we reversing that one, big dog. And they bought it back. But now the NFL is walking that back and saying, yeah, that should have been an interception. Two game-changing plays. Game-changing plays. Makes zero sense. Ravens outside linebacker Kyle Van Noy had a little bit to say about this himself in a tweet that he put up earlier today. This is what Kyle Van Noy had to say. He says, and I quote, "Have we ever seen the NFL come out months after a game has been played, a couple weeks after the entire NFL season finished, and admitted they did not get one huge crucial call in the biggest NFL rivalry game? But they got two crucial calls in the same game wrong. So the total was three horrible calls in one game. That's insane. One, the interception from Rodgers. Two, the likely touchdown. And three, Travis Jones' 15-yarder on field goal. Oh, I remember that one too. They said he interfered, right? With the snapper, which you're not allowed to do. But he didn't make any contact to the head and neck area of him. He just kind of gets him out of the way so we can try to go block the field goal from the interior. You should be able to do that. And that caused a 4-point swing right there because, again, the Steelers were getting ready to kick a field goal. Instead, they threw that penalty on Travis Jones, sets up the Steelers with first and goal. They score a touchdown. Right? So multiple calls in that game. So Kyle Van Noy is making some points here. And then he says, let me see. Yeah, so the NFL, they admitted the Tuesday after that happened that Travis Jones, that should not have been called a penalty. They said they got that wrong. And then he says, wow, accountability kind of, sort of, not really, but something kind of. What the hell, Kyle Van Noy? Says, we need some sort of action now because this cannot happen at the highest level. I understand one, but three, shaking my head. And again, that was outside linebacker Kyle Van Noy stating that. And he's right. He's absolutely right. When you have three egregious calls that massively impact the game, it's not okay. It's not enough to just come out, days later or weeks later or months later and say, hey, yeah, that's on us. We got that one wrong. Right? We got you next time, big dog. How do we know that? How do we know that? I just do not understand for the life of me how we cannot get these calls correct in real time. If there's a book that you're going by and you train all of your replay assist crew with these rules, and they're so well versed on it that they happen to get hired by the National Football League, again, a multi-billion with a B dollar company, how are we getting this stuff wrong so often? How are these things just so subjective that in real time you get it wrong, and then weeks later you're like, you know what, actually, we did get that wrong. You guys were right. Fans were right. Yeah, that's on us. It's unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. DeWiz, what up? Another member in the chat. April123, what up? What up? Mike, another member in the chat. What's up, Mike? And a big divisional rivalry game that's going to play a part in deciding the division. Exactly. These are things that massively impact the league. Chris M, what up? Chris, and the M is for member here. Appreciate you for coming through, Chris, as always. Frank, what up? What up? Monty, what's up? What's up? Couple of y'all trickled in the past couple of minutes. Want to say what's up to y'all. Again, shout out to the replay gang at home as well. Shout out to the replay gang. Those watching after the live stream. Be sure, everybody, please, 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 really quick, please like the video. Please like the video. I'm gonna pull down my shades for this one. Let you guys know I'm not high. Right? It's your regular Sutton. It's your regular everyday Sutton. I promise you, I'm not high. I'm not lit. Nothing like that. It's your regular everyday Sutton. But please like the video. Okay, I am begging. Right? Helps us out a ton here at PRP, and also subscribe if you are new. All right, shades back on. I got some more shit to talk. Mike says here, Sutton, the worst part is the officials on the field got it right. Then New York overturned the right calls. Then that's that's kind of like my point here. Why are we not deferring to the guys who are actually on the field, who are watching these plays happen in real time, who are watching these games live and breathe and unfold in real time? Why are we not deferring to them? Because if that's the case, if we're just going to send it to replay officials after the fact and let them make the final decision, you can get rid of referees just in its totality. You can get rid of like all referees. I mean, they're unnecessary at that point. Oh, but sudden, who's going to break up the players when they fight? Get more security. Get on-field security. You can have security officials on the field who stand in the same spots as the refs, but they have nothing to do with calling the game. Because the guys up in New York, they're going to worry about that. Right? There's too many cameras. You can watch the game from every single angle, sitting from one seat. If they really wanted to do that, just get rid of the refs. Get rid of the officials. Again, put security on the field and let those guys up in New York do the entire job from start to finish. Right? So, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. All right. Stu's Green Thumb, what up? Robert, what up? Khalil, what's up, man? King Lee, I don't know if if I said what's up to you, but what up, King Lee? Get me in Cuzzo's bedroom ready for the Houston game. Oh man, I can't wait for that Houston game next year. I will be there. And hopefully some of you guys will come out too. Houston's a good time, so you don't have to come out just for the game. Make it a whole weekend, make it a trip, and maybe we can link up. I'll do a hotel gate and everything. Have the Rain Gang Ravens. We'll take over NRG. What are we talking about? We'll take it over. We will take it over. All right. So let's move on here. Next little quick hitter I got. I know I spent a good amount of time on that, but that's okay. Let's talk about. Let's go. Let's get into the press conference from today. I was going to focus on a couple other things. We're already 22 minutes in. I want to get into this press conference because, again, you guys see the title of the video. You guys saw the thumbnail. Somebody's lying. And they need to be held accountable. Today, and I'll just get into this now. We listened to Eric DeCosta and Jesse Minter, new Ravens head coach, talk about the status of Lamar Jackson's contract situation. And I'll start with GM Eric DeCosta here. Eric DeCosta said, let me go ahead and pull this up, make sure I'm not misquoting. Eric DeCosta said, and this is per Jeff Zrebeck, EDC said he has spoken to Lamar Jackson a lot over the last month, and he has been engaged. But EDC declined to comment on negotiations, saying he and Lamar have an agreement to keep things in-house. Now, on the surface, this seems fine, because EDC also went on to say he's very confident that the Ravens and Lamar Jackson can get a deal done to extend Lamar, so that way they do not have to worry about a $74 or $75 million cap hit this season, which will basically have their hands tied and not allow them to make big moves in free agency, or any moves for that matter in free agency. However, I question greatly. I question greatly the validity of that statement. Oh, we're super confident we're going to get a deal done with Lamar. Oh, yeah? Your boss, Steve Bisciotti, all of what, a month ago, maybe a little bit over a month ago at this point, told you and the entire world, hey, we need to get this Lamar Jackson deal done before free agency, which is basically what, 2 weeks away? 2 weeks away, if that. And the fact that we don't even have an inkling of an idea of how close you are with finalizing a deal with Lamar Jackson, it screams BS to me. I don't think they're close. Someone is lying, and I think it's Eric DaCosta. And I have some other things I want to bring up to you as well to support this point, but I don't think they're anywhere close to a deal. And I'm going to explain why. Number one, we know Lamar Jackson is a private person. So I'm not saying that, Lamar doesn't want to be a Raven, right? Maybe he just wants to keep his cards close to the vest, which is fine. I mean, we get that. We know Lamar. However, when you talk about the timing of these negotiations, it only makes sense for one party to get this deal done. It only makes sense for the Baltimore Ravens to get this deal done. It actually makes zero sense, just personally, for Lamar Jackson. It makes no sense for Lamar Jackson to get a deal done right now with the Ravens. Now, why would I say that? Why do you say that, Sutton? Well, let me tell you. Number one, Lamar Jackson is coming off of a down year, right? I think 20 something touchdowns, uh, more turnovers than, he probably would have bargained for this year. Nowhere near the season before that, where he should have won his third MVP, or some of the seasons past, where he went absolutely scorched earth on the NFL. This was a down year. He was hurt. The Ravens missed the playoffs, had a below 500 record. Lamar didn't look the same running because of the injuries. So if I'm Lamar Jackson, why am I coming to negotiate my deal when I still have years left on my contract as is? Right? I already got security. At the very least, you restructure my deal, I'm going to get paid the same amount I got paid this season. Why would I come to the table now and let y'all nickel and dime me and give me so many excuses how you wouldn't want to give me a top of the market deal with X amount of guaranteed money because of the season we just came off of? When I could make you wait, if I'm Lamar, I can make the Ravens wait another year. I can go into next season healthy with a new head coach, new OC, DC, a brand new outlook on everything. I can go absolutely scorched earth again, contend for my third, which should be fourth MVP. And then we can come to the table and talk when I have more leverage, right? Because Lamar has leverage right now. But if we talk about maximizing his leverage, guys, it would only make sense for him to wait another year. Because again, I know a lot of you guys know this, but the salaries for quarterbacks, just like the cap space, is going up and up and up every single year. Every single year. So if I'm Lamar Jackson again, I'll be damned if I let you guys nickel and dime me on a contract extension now based off of the year that the Ravens just had, the year that I just had when I was injured. I'll be damned if I extend with you guys now just for 365 days from now. The likes of a CJ Stroud is going to sign a deal worth more than what I got, and I'm locked in. If I'm Lamar, it makes no sense. And this is why I think, again, Eric DaCosta is lying. He's not confident that he's gonna get a deal done with Lamar before free agency. It's not even close. They're not even close to getting that done. And Steve Bisciotti said he thinks, Lamar Jackson is amenable to making a deal like that before free agency starts, but I disagree. I disagree. I don't think that Lamar is necessarily obdurate to the idea of signing an extension right now. But he knows, and him being his own agent, him and his mother, he knows that if he comes to the table next season, granted, if he can stay healthy and the Ravens, get back on track, make the playoffs, he has a good year like we expect him to have, he can make way more money. He's not going to get lapped by a CJ Stroud or whoever else is going to be up to get paid next season. Right? So, Kari says EDC said extension or restructure. Yeah, we're headed towards restructure. We are fast tracking towards restructuring. Again, because an extension makes no sense for Lamar Jackson at this specific time. Now, listen, again, like I said before, I got to put this disclaimer in here so you guys don't crap all over me for what I'm saying here. I don't think that Lamar Jackson does not want to be a Raven. I just think Lamar Jackson is a better businessman than a lot of us give him credit for. Again, I just think Lamar Jackson is a better businessman than a lot of us want to give him credit for. Because if you were in the same situation and you were Lamar Jackson and you knew you were going to make at minimum $35 million next season to play football, why would you go back and renegotiate a deal in a time where your team is coming off of a bad year? It's like, no, I'll just wait another year. I'll just wait another year. Now, the Ravens don't want to do that. It's not in their best interest because then you have to start tacking on more void years to the end of his deal, which eventually, if you keep kicking the can down the road, eventually, like I always say, you're going to have to pay the piper at some point. And you're going to end up in cap hell. So the Ravens really need to get this done now. But they can't because Lamar Jackson is not budging because he does not have to. He does not have to. All right? You're assuming that Lamar is money driven? I doubt that. Listen, Taurus, you my boy. But if we're going to call a spade here, all these dudes are in it for money and long-term security. I know Lamar wants to win a Super Bowl more than anything. I get that. Cool. But when I guarantee you, when him and his mom are having those conversations like, okay, where do we go from here? Business-wise. I mean, you're talking about, I'm not saying that Lamar is money driven, but if you look at all of the things that Lamar Jackson has poured his money into over the years, some good investments, some I would say not the best. Play action soul food. I heard that's doing really well in Florida. I actually want to get down there and try it. The entire gym business venture, kind of a miss. So I'm not saying that he's like money hungry or anything like that, but he is a businessman. And he wants to make the best financial decision for him and his family. That's what I'll say. Sutton, did you stretch before all this reaching today? Says Tila. Yeah, I actually just got back from the gym. Had me a great stretch session. Was in the sauna, all that. So I'm nice and loose. I am nice and loose. Let me see some more. I know you guys are pushing back. I know y'all are pushing back. I knew y'all would. Like I said, I put the disclaimer at the beginning of the episode. And again, if you're part of the replay gang, as we have 100 people watching live across platforms here, if you're part of the replay gang, leave down below in the comments if you agree with what I'm saying. Oh, I have to pause that because I'm nice and loose now? Okay, all right. I'll pause it. Jeez Louise, man. Y'all are killing me. Glaucoma says, I'm taking money over the rings. F that. I know Lamar wants both. I know he wants a Super Bowl ring as bad as ever. Lamar wants a Super Bowl ring as much as I want you guys who are watching now who are not subscribed to subscribe to the channel, right? Y'all gonna stop teasing me in this live chat, man. Y'all gonna stop teasing me. Y'all lucky I didn't do sudden reactions today. We'll be tomorrow. 'Cause I got some stuff to say on there too. Khalil says, I disagree, Sutton. I believe they are close or already have a deal done, and they're just waiting. EDC is just respecting Lamar's wishes. Well, I mean, I would push back and say, well, what is Lamar waiting for? If Lamar wants to play ball, then I would assume that he would have gotten this deal done. I don't know, sometime after the Super Bowl, sometime around when Mahomes got his restructure to give his, the front office of his organization ample time to scope out the lay of the land with some cap space in their pocket and see who they want to aggressively pursue in free agency. I just don't know why you would wait this long if there wasn't some sort of stalemate. And I think it's clear there's a stalemate right now. And that's just how negotiations go. But again, like I said before, I do think that Lamar Jackson is a better businessman than we give him credit for. And if that statement is true, again, which I believe it is, then Lamar Jackson would not be negotiating with the Ravens right now just because it doesn't make sense. Again, we came off of a bad year, under 500. I didn't perform my best this season. Why would I negotiate with you guys now? So you guys can sit here and tell me, oh, well, the injuries. Oh, well, the turnovers. Oh, well, you regressed a little bit. Oh, well, we went 8-9. So we want to give you X amount of dollars in your extension. When Lamar's like, well, no, did you see what I did the year before that? Right? When I should have won my third MVP? What about the year before that? When I won the MVP? Like, it's all about what have you done for me lately? And that's how the Ravens are looking at it. And Lamar knows that. So, like, why negotiate with you guys based off of what just happened recently when I'm still under contract, going to get paid another handsome $35 million next year, and I can go out and prove to y'all what I really want to earn, what I really deserve. And again, I think he's done the CJ Stroud thing again. Next year, the Houston Texans owner or GM, somebody said today that it's moronic to think that they're going to move off of CJ Stroud. If CJ Stroud goes out there next season and even has a decent season, I'm talking, I don't know, 20 plus touchdowns and 10 or less interceptions, he's going to get paid top of the market money. Period. And I think Lamar looks around the league at like the Dak Prescotts of the world and the Trevor Lawrences and the Justin Herberts of the world who just immediately lapped him and how much he's getting paid, knowing damn well that those quarterbacks do not hold a candle to Lamar. So if I'm Lamar, it's like, no, bro. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait one more season. And I'm going to go off, probably win another MVP. Don't let me make the Super Bowl. And then we can come back to the table and we can talk about this. That's what he's going to do. The way it says not for 20 tutties. I mean, I'm like, in that 25 range. 25, maybe 30 range, something like that. Uh-oh. Who we got in the chat? Who is this? I see some gifted memberships in the chat. Hey, what's going on, Flock Rundown? My guy Ryan from the Flock Rundown. I was just watching him and Engraven for live earlier today as I was getting some work done and stuff like that. A great listen. Make sure you guys go ahead and check out the Flock Rundown. Appreciate that for gifting the membership in the chat. If you were the recipient of that membership, please leave a thank you to our guy Ryan from the Flock Rundown. He does great work over on his channel. Again, go subscribe to the Flock Rundown. Quickly becoming one of my favorite Ravens YouTubers, and I hope we can get back together soon, bro. And we can do another stream. I want to do a low key want to do like a Ravens town hall where we get like a crazy amount of people on stream at one time. That would be super dope. That would be super dope. And of course, Ryan will be a part of that, Engraven and all the like. And it was King Lee who was the recipient of that membership. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Let me see. I see Steve Loop in the chat. What up, Steve? Mad Rasta making it rain here. You guys are going crazy, man. I appreciate y'all. Mad Rasta with the $4.99 in the chat says can have career-ending injury, but he should give no discount. Right, and I think that's what the Ravens are sniffing for right now. Hey, can you give us a little bit of, hey, Lamar, It, we could use just a little bit of a friendly hometown discount, right? Give us a little something so we can have something to work with. No, bro. Nah, nah. I'm not in the business of giving you a discount if I'm Lamar Jackson. But I know you're going to ask for one right now because I just threw for what, 21 touchdowns and what, 7 interceptions. It wasn't my best year, but again, I'm still under contract. So I'm going to make y'all wait one more year. Go ahead, kick those void years down the line. That don't got nothing to do with me. I mean, you had me for 5 years cheap. You had me cheap for the first 5 years of my career. And what did you put around me? A washed Odell Beckham Jr., Deshaun Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like we really did him a ton of favors early in his career on the offense. And that's what leads to guys from LBHT. My guy Jose says it all the time. Defund the defense. We got to invest more in Lamar. I think the best acquisition that they have made on the offense in the Lamar Jackson era, and this is sad to say, but I think, of course, would be number one would be Derrick Henry. But after that, the best acquisition, and let me know if I'm missing anybody, I think would be Kevin Zeitler. Think about that. Think about that. You had me cheap for 5 years, bro. The time for discounts is done. So no discounts. I agree, Mad Rasta. I agree. I think we had another one here in the chat. RJ, what's going on, RJ? Appreciate you, brother. Dropping the 10 piece in the chat, making it rain here on Quiet Storm Sports. Says much love. Much love to you as well, brother. Hope you and yours are doing well. See you all the time on Instagram, man. You're living it up, man. I love it. I love it. Appreciate you for coming through and appreciate you for supporting all these years that you have, man. Really do appreciate that. Nelson Aguilar was another guy, you know? Like what have we really done for Lamar Jackson other than get him Derrick Henry? Hate to say it, but it's true. It's true. Again, appreciate you, RJ. Let me see. Glaucoma says time to run that money. For sure. JD13 says Marcus Williams or Peters, but again, I mean, both defensive guys. And we were clamoring for years, like, hey, get Lamar Jackson a number one receiver. Get him a number one receiver. Like, no, we'll give him Nelson Aguilar. We'll give him Odell Beckham Jr. No, you know, we'll give him D-Hop. No shade to D-Hop. But it was clear that, like, he was like that aging veteran who wasn't going to be a focal point of the game plan. So how is that really helping Lamar Jackson? You know what I'm saying? Nobody expected these guys to be wide receiver ones. Again, Deshaun Jackson. Nobody expect Dez Bryant. Nobody expected these guys to be wide receiver ones at that stage in their career. So, no. Time for discounts is over, man. It's over. What else we got? Dez Bryant and Sammy Watkins. Thank you, Tanja. I'm forgetting some of these names. I mean, the list gets long. It's a laundry list of, dare I say, over the hill, some washed receivers. That was the help they got Lamar when Lamar was cheap. And Lamar keeps tabs on all this stuff, man. And I know he loves his teammates, but he keeps tabs. You know? Jeremiah says, who were they supposed to pay, though? Hey, you were supposed to push some of your chips to the middle of the table. And by chips, I mean some of these draft picks. I told Jason on PRP last night with Alex, over the past 5 years, the Ravens have averaged 9 draft picks per draft. 9. And EDC said he wants to hit on 60%, of his draft picks. Brother, you're barely hitting on 20%. Go back to any draft in the past 5 years and give me 3 solid names from that specific draft class that are high impact starters on this roster today. I'm not talking about guys who went elsewhere either. You really can't, bro. So we were supposed to package some of those picks, maybe some players that we didn't necessarily need, and go get Lamar a guy. I mean, getting Henry was beautiful. right? Getting Henry was absolutely just one of the best moves we could have ever made. Should have made it a little bit earlier. I know the Titans blocked it at the time in that 2023 season. Who knows what would have happened if we would have had Lamar and Derrick Henry in that AFC Championship game? But again, getting Lamar big talent to support him to supplement his game should have happened way earlier. It should have happened after the first MVP, right? So in the 2020, 2021 season, should have went out again, push your chips to the middle of the table, get Lamar a guy, a number one receiver. I don't know what it looks like in hindsight, but hey, that's what I'm saying. Robert says, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna start putting money away now for the Houston and Dallas games this season. Hope to see you there. I will be there, especially for the Houston game. Definitely for the Houston game. I will be there. 100%. Rainmaker says here, 2022, Hamilton, Linderbaum, and Travis Jones. Good point. Point taken, Rainmaker. Point taken. That was like an anomaly, though. That was an anomaly. Can't really say that for a lot of the other ones. Can't. But that is a good draft class. I mean, those are three guys right there that hit. How many picks do we have in 2022, though? How many picks do we have in 22? I wonder. Now I got to look that up. Ravens draft picks 2022. 11 picks. 11 picks in that draft class. So those 27%, hitting on about 27%. Definitely an anomaly, Rainmaker, but point taken there. Those are three really good players. Those are three really good players. Stout was 2022 as well. Was Stout 22 or 23? I thought he was 23. I don't feel like Stout has been with the Ravens that long. But a punter, yeah, I'm not, I don't, I'm not really gonna count a punter in that in terms of like impact. So let me see. Glaucoma says the Ravens are always getting a guy at wide receiver. They need to get that guy. Tori says you don't know what it looks like, but have criticism. Sutton. Yeah, it's because I'm not Eric DaCosta. I'm not an NFL GM. That's why. You know what I mean? At the time, if I was getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars to do that job, then yeah, I would find somebody. I would find a way. I would find a way. RJ, appreciate you making it rain again here in the chat with another 10 piece. Says, what would you do this offseason? Give me the whole rundown. So it's funny because we actually did this about 2 weeks ago. Me, Flock Rundown, and Sip to Tally Films, our guy Coach. We were all on stream doing the armchair GM game where we kind of broke down what exactly we would do this offseason. So in a nutshell, I'll tell you this, RJ. A lot of you guys who have been watching me for the past couple of weeks have known that I've been a huge advocate of going out and getting John Franklin Myers, right? You're talking about a guy who can play, he's a D lineman who can play on the inside of the D line. He can also play on the outside of the D line as well. So that 3-4 tech range, he excels in that. Can create pressure from the inside. That would solve a litany of problems for the Ravens. If you go out and get him in free agency, you can pay him however many, like $12 million a year, something like that, right? He would be a huge factor on this defense. He had 7.5 sacks last year. Again, rushing from the inside. He's a violent finisher at the point of attack. You know what I mean? He can stop the run. And again, like I said yesterday, the game of football, like Jesse Mentor said today, it's an offensive line and defensive line league. It's driven by those two position groups. But I'd take it even a step further by saying it's driven by the interior of the D line and the interior of the offensive line. Look at when Lamar Jackson was at his best. When he was at his best. In the early days of Lamar, he had Yonda, interior lineman. In the middle days of Lamar, what was it, years 4 through 6, something like that. He had Zeitler on the inside, John Simpson on the inside, who was more than serviceable for us. And look how those years ended up. I mean, those years ended up in MVPs, playoff appearances, and then look at when we had on the defensive side of the football. Nnamdi Madubuike and Travis Jones in tandem. How look at what the Eagles had last year when they whooped up on the Chiefs. It was Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter from the inside. So if you can lock down the interior D line and the interior of that O line, that's the start for me. So to answer your question again, I'd go out and I'd get an interior D lineman, regardless of whether or not Beeks is coming back. Madubuike, which I'll talk about that in a second too. And then I would also go out and I would acquire through free agency uh, an offensive lineman. Now in the draft, I would also want to either draft a young offensive lineman, or if there's a receiver there that you at 14 that you just cannot pass up on after you've already addressed the O line in free agency, I wouldn't mind that. We talked a lot about Jordan Tyson yesterday from Arizona State, I believe. 6'2", 200 pounds, can high point the football, has good speed and route running, things like that. He's just very injury prone. Maybe him or maybe some of these other guys that might fall to that 14th pick. Mekhi Lemon is another guy that people have been talking about. There's a couple of them. But the draft, again, I agree with the whole premise of, hey, we can go best player available. But the only way you can do that, the only way you can be afforded that luxury is if you patch up the holes that you have in free agency. Get proven commodities there. I think if you get proven commodities on the interior of that O line, if you go out and get a receiver, that's going to help that receiver because Lamar's going to have more time to throw to that receiver and build confidence and trust with that receiver. So I think you can go BPA in the draft as long as we address those needs in free agency, RJ. And then after that, I think you get rid of Cooper Rush, bring back Tyler Huntley as insurance. You know what I mean? There's a couple of other things as well. A couple of other smaller transactions that we could probably make, but that's the basis of it. Fix your O line and D line, primarily in free agency. That way you can go into the draft and be afforded the luxury of picking the best players available. That's kind of the premise of it. That's the premise of my offseason plans. Appreciate you, RJ, again for the super chat donation. Going crazy here on this episode of PRP, the Quiet Storm Sports show. OBJ was supposed to be a guy, says Jeremiah. I don't think so. I don't think that he was supposed to be anything other than like a good supplementary piece. It's just we kind of knew that just by the amount of targets he was getting, right? As Modi says, yo, what happened to sudden reactions today? I know I didn't get a chance to do it today, guys. I had some stuff going on this morning. But tomorrow we will be back. We will be back with sudden reactions. And I got a lot of stuff. Got a lot to talk about to get off my chest. So make sure you tune into to tomorrow's episode of Sudden Reactions. Again, please, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. We'd appreciate that. If you are enjoying the content, please leave a like or sub or both. JD says, I'm trading for AJ Brown. He's as gettable as he can be right now. Speaking of Mr. AJ Brown, this was another little quick hitter that I got out of today. So they were talking about, I think it was Howie Roseman. No, it wasn't Howie. It was Nick Sirianni, Eagles head coach. They were talking about how, you know, does AJ Brown want to be on the team? Does he like the guys? Is he a good guy? And he basically said yes, yes, yes to all that stuff. Coach speak. But when somebody asked him, hey, like, point blank period, is AJ Brown going to be an Eagle next year? Nick Sirianni said he cannot guarantee that AJ Brown will be back with the Eagles next season. If I'm Eric DeCosta, again, this is what I'm talking about. You got to push some of those chips to the middle of the table. The draft is nothing but a lottery. And I don't know if any of you guys have played the lottery before, but what's guaranteed about the lottery? Oh, that's right. Nothing at all. At all. Nothing's guaranteed. Even your first round selections in the draft are not guaranteed to be high level starters. They're just not. They're just not. So maybe take some of those draft picks and go out and get yourself a proven wide receiver like AJ Brown. So maybe they do that. Maybe they changed the philosophy. I mean, according to Eric DaCosta, that's just not what they want to do. They want to draft and they want to develop, which is something that they have been doing to the tune of no Super Bowls in the EDC era. But they want to keep doing that. Like I always say, nothing changes if nothing changes. We as Steve Bisciotti figured that with Harbaugh, and that's why he was shown the door. So I think if EDC goes out this year with his 11 draft picks in his back pocket, and he only hits for on 20%, sub 20% of those picks, I think we're looking at maybe a 2-year leash with Eric DaCosta. 2-year leash if no Super Bowls are had. So yeah, JD, I agree, man. Let's push some chips to the middle of the table and go get that guy. Him or Max Crosby. I have another point here. Oh, RJ going crazy. Real quick. Clap it up for RJ. Let's clap it up for RJ real quick. You know what I'm saying? He says, go get AJ Brown with a $10 super chat donation attached to it. I know that's right, brother. Appreciate you, man. Go get AJ Brown. Just go get him. I mean, this is the one receiver who you can go out, you can acquire that he would automatically trump all the guys that I was talking about earlier. The Odells of the world, the Des Bryants of the world, the D-Hops even, Deshaun Jackson, Nelson Aguilar. Who was the other one somebody mentioned? I can't remember, but those are 5 names right there. None of them compare to getting an A.J. Brown at the current stage of his career. And I know I say this all the time, but if you get Lamar Jackson, a receiver who in the red zone can not only block, but can line up like, at the Y, in that slot position, run over the middle, use his body to wall off defenders and just catch a ball, just catch a slant over the middle, strong hands, touchdowns. You got to worry about that plus Derrick Henry. I mean, for a while, you had to worry about Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown in Tennessee, and that gave the league legit problems. Y'all remember? Gave us issues. Now you add Lamar to that mix too? Are you kidding me? What that would do for this offense? And you're making sure you have a fully stocked kitchen for Declan Doyle. 29-year-old Declan Doyle. A fully stocked kitchen with whatever ingredient he would ever so desire to cook up an offense that's scoring 30-plus points a game, which is realistically what the Ravens should be doing. They've done it before. They need to get back to that. And A.J. Brown would absolutely help with that. Absolutely help with that. Appreciate you, RJ. Appreciate that, RJ. Again, man, going crazy today in the chat. Appreciate y'all for coming through. We do have 111 people watching live right now. Shout out to y'all. Please leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you are new as well. Also, we do have another member giveaway coming down the pipeline. This time it's going to be some Rain Gang merch. I cannot wait to share it with you guys. I've been working really hard on some cool designs. So when we're ready to announce that, we will. But of course, it's going to be for members only. All of our giveaways are going to be for members only on the channel. So if you are a member, you don't have to worry about going somewhere to try to qualify, whatever. You're automatically qualified for our giveaways for our channel members. Appreciate y'all again. Let me see what else y'all saying in here. It's all gambling for sure. I would just keep Likely instead. I think Likely is gone. Yeah, so that was another thing. That I saw today. Eric DaCosta said they would still like to re-sign Isaiah Likely, which I think that is kind of like a given. Of course, you still want to re-sign him, but I think Isaiah Likely going on this media tour that he's been on recently, I saw on Coach's channel, not yesterday, but last week sometime, that he was on with John Gruden, and he may have went on a couple of other outlets as well. I wish we could get him on PRP, but if he's on his way out of Baltimore, I doubt he would be willing to join us here. But he's gone. He's gone, guys. Not only does he want to go somewhere where he's going to get paid the money that he desires and deserves, but he's going to want to go somewhere where he can be the focal point of the pass catchers, especially in the tight end room. Like he wants to be a tight end one for somebody. As much as I'm sure he loves Lamar Jackson and he talks about that at length in some of these interviews, he wants to be a tight end one somewhere. And I get it, bro. Trust me, I do. Sitting in Mark Andrews' shadow, I mean, you just saw how they signed Mark Andrews to a 3-year extension. So obviously the league is not the league, but the Ravens are telling Likely something right there. Eric DaCosta said that he talked with Likely's manager or agent. He talked with Andrews' agent, and they got the Andrews deal done first. And Likely was like, "Oh, okay. So you're gonna pay the long in the tooth tight end who has ended your season on a couple different occasions by dropping some of the biggest passes. I mean, as recent as that Bills game in the divisional round in 2024, where I caught the touchdown pass, right? I caught the deep ball touchdown in an ice storm, snowstorm, and then you trusted the other guy to haul in the 2-point conversion, which was like a layup pass, and he couldn't do it. But that's the guy you extended 3 years, and he also was actively trying to give the ball away right before half by just tossing it up as he's going to the. That's the guy. Okay, got it. If I'm Likely, I'm saying got it. All right. Hey, New England, come get your boy. Hey, Kansas City, Travis Kelsey, he's gonna retire soon. New York, Giants, not Jets, not Jets. Giants, Harbs, you already know your boy. I like Jackson Dart and Cam Scattaboo and Malik Neighbors. Get me a part of that. I want to be a frat boy too. I just think the writing is on the wall with Likely. The writing is on the wall with Likely. DG says Mark never scored a touchdown in the playoffs either. Fact. Fact. Thank you for that, DG. And I don't want to shit on Mark Andrews, but it's just like, come on, bro. At some point, you know what I mean? But yeah, he's not Andrews anymore. That's just Mark. Facts though. Facts though. What other things that I have? Eric DaCosta does not see Lamar Jackson as the big domino in free agency. They can still get business done, even if EDC would want more cap space. Yeah, you can just restructure him, but that's going to F you down the line. So we know that. What else did I have here? Max Crosby is apparently still on the table. So Raiders GM John Spytek on whether Max Crosby is considered untradeable. Raiders GM says, and I quote, "We're always listening, man." So Eric DaCosta, again, I hope you are listening. And I hope you are taking stock of who are the current Ravens edge rushers. This is something that they'll probably address in the draft again and tell Jesse Minter, hey, go turn these guys into superstars. Which I'm not all the way mad at. As long as you go out and get me a proven commodity on the interior of that D line. Because whoever's on the interior of that D line is going to open up opportunities for whoever's on the outside, especially with the new coaching regime, Minter, Weaver at DC. I'm not mad at it, but if we're talking about taking big swings and getting quote unquote big ticket players, that's a big ticket player. Max Crosby, AJ Brown, you make those happen, you will move the fan base. They will be right there on your side. Again, we'll be calling you Don DaCosta. Again, y'all remember those days? Just like you said with Mark Andrews, glaucoma, he's not Mandrews anymore. He's Mark. Eric DaCosta is not the Don anymore. He's just Eric. I'm damn near about to stop calling him EDC. Sorry. I'm damn near about to stop calling him that. Dre, what up, man? Appreciate you for coming through. Quony in the chat as well. Quincy in the chat. What's up? What's up? Jeremiah says if you stack all the best edges, Miles, Max, TJ, and Micah, no playoff wins combined. Lord have mercy. Them boys just playing anywhere, bro. Poverty franchises love to lock up a good edge rusher. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that much right now. They will pay a good edge rusher in a heartbeat. And that'll be their only luxury on the team. Browns, they should have got rid of Myles Garrett and got a haul back and just completely overhauled their team. Yeah, but he got 23 and a half sacks. Bro, your quarterback is Shador Sanders. Okay. And by the way, you're still paying you have 8 or 9 quarterbacks on your payroll right now. And your current starter is Shador Sanders. Let's talk about it. Your best pass catchers is who? I, Harold Fannin Jr. At this point should have moved off of Miles Garrett. Should have been moved off of Miles Garrett. It takes a group of guys, just one. Facts. Garrett can probably get you 3 first-round picks. You know what I mean? And those 23.5 sacks didn't even get him to the playoffs. Y'all see what I'm saying here? Like, come on now. Come on. Let me see. Let's talk a little bit of Tyler Linderbaum here. Tyler Linderbaum. Eric DeCosta says he believes Tyler Linderbaum is the best center in the NFL, and the Ravens have proposed an offer that would be market resetting, which is more than $18 million per year for Linderbaum. Linderbaum is scheduled to be a top free agent next month. Interesting. Interesting as my camera goes out here. Tila says in the chat they be calling EDC Eric T. Costas. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Let's do over this Tyler Linderbaum thing for 1 second while I fix my camera, guys. 1 second. Please hold. BRB. Y'all know how it can be. There we go. We back. And now Ace is bothering me. It all comes at once. When it rains, it pours. Listen, go over there. All right. So I want to end it with this, guys. Tyler Linderbaum. The Ravens have apparently offered him market resetting money. Over 18 million per. And apparently, from what I've been hearing around the block, or what I've been hearing around the flock, rather, is that Tyler Linderbaum's agent is the one who's getting in the way of Linderbaum signing a deal like this. Apparently, the agent wants Linderbaum to make more money, which if you're Tyler Linderbaum and your agent's coming to you like, yeah, man, they offered 18 plus mil a year, but I think we can get more than that, right? You want more money, right? Yeah, let me go back to them and tell them that you want more. If you're Linderbaum, you're like, okay, dude. Yeah, of course I want more money. If you think we can get more than that? Yeah, we can get more than that. Let's do it. Okay, go ahead. Keep negotiating. Eventually, again, I think that the Ravens will throw their hands up and say, hey, look, man, we tried to give you a deal that was good for us and good for you, but your agent keeps acting like you're going to make like wide receiver one money elsewhere. So we have no other choice but to let you test the market at this point. You know? So I think that that's kind of where the Ravens are at with him. Dre says his agent is tripping. I think so too. It's not just the agent. Please, Linderbaum has his hand in it. I'm sure he probably does. But again, this is where I think, again, somebody's lying. You guys see the theme of the episode. Someone is lying. Hate to be the one to say it, but I think Linderbaum's gone. And also another thing that I've been hearing around the flock, word on the street is you can get some good centers in this year's draft. With those 11 draft picks, you can get yourself a more than decent center. Now we get it. Linderbaum is a top 2 center in the league, maybe only behind Creed Humphrey. However, the value, I mean, we just can't afford. The Ravens just simply cannot afford paying a center the amount of money that I think that his agent is campaigning for Tyler Linderbaum. So if he walks, he walks. That's where I'm at with it. That's where your boy Sutton Def is at with it. Linderbaum, love you. Really good in zone schemes, which is something that I feel like the Ravens will run a lot this year, even though Jesse Minter came out and said that they're going to be, they're going to diversify their run schemes. But, that's coach speak. He's going to have to say that, or else teams will just start game planning for us today. Uh, but, also just one on one when he's got to go one on one with an interior pass rusher, not the biggest guy. So he kind of gives up ground in that department in some cases. So, again, like I said, I love Linderbaum. I don't want to go back to the bad snap days, but if his agent is trying to get him paid 20 plus million a year to play center, we got to go in a different direction. We just have to. Business is business. It's got to happen. You know. Azrael, let me see. Azrael Pet Nation, appreciate you for coming through. Says this is his first contract. You got to try for the bag. I get that. But make 18 million with the Ravens and contend for a Super Bowl with the team that I've been with since I was drafted, or get paid 20 million and go to a team that has a lot lesser of a chance to make a Super Bowl, right? And I'm with a totally new organization. Is that 2 or 3 million that important? Maybe it is. Maybe it is for Linderbaum. But this is where you see that Tom Brady mentality, where some guys have it, some guys don't. Some guys are willing to take a little bit of a discount to make sure that the rest of the team is good. Now with Lamar, because I know I talked about him at length earlier, with Lamar, like I said before, ain't no more discounts. He had me for 5 years at a discounted rate. And I won an MVP in those 5 years. And you put BS around me largely for those 5-6 years. So ain't no time for discounts for Lamar. But Linderbaum, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Not to say like this, you play center, but you play center. And that's a position that is way more replaceable than quarterback. Just saying. I hope we get him back, though. I really do. I really do. But it's just business, though. It's just business. Cool Breeze. What up, Cool Breeze? Please make sure y'all like the video. Please leave a like, little thumbs up. It's free. Leave a little thumbs up on YouTube. Tila said she didn't make up the Eric he cost us. Well, I was going to roll with the fact that you made it up. I was going to tell everybody you made it up, Tila. That's what I was going to say. I might still say that. Let me see. A couple other quick hitters here. No clarity from Jesse Minter on Nate Wiggins' offseason surgery, which he shared news of on social media a few weeks ago. But he's a big believer. Jesse Minter sees room for growth in the 2024 first rounder. He knows Wiggins does too. Minter is optimistic about the secondary overall. There's a lot of reason to be optimistic about the secondary if you can get any sort of a pass rush going. Right? Because, the secondary, they're going to get burned regardless of who's back there. You could have Prime Revis, Patrick Peterson, Dion, whoever you want back there. You could have Ronnie Lott back there, knocking dudes' heads off. You could have whoever you want. Brian Dahl, you can have whoever you want back there. Does not matter. If the pass rush can't get home, and that quarterback has time to pat that ball, and go wherever he wants with it, guys can only cover but so long. We thought going into this past season, the Ravens had the best secondary in the league. I don't think that anybody, because we were like, oh, Nate Wiggins, Marlon Humphrey, we went out and we got Cheeto Awuzie, right? Kyle Hamilton. For a while, Ardarius Washington until he got hurt. Malachi Starks, first round pick. We thought we was cooking with grease, right? But when you have no pass rush, it really exposes the guys on the back end, and boy, did they get exposed. Now with Nate Wiggins, I think that it was a little bit of a scheme issue because with Nate Wiggins, for some reason, pretty much every single rep, this guy was playing 10 yards off of his man, in which I didn't understand at all. I mean, if you have a guy who is running what, like a 4-3 or whatever Nate Wiggins runs, he's a fast cornerback. Why would you be having him give up so much cushion to guys underneath? It's an easy chain mover. I remember the Rams were moving the ball easy on us at a certain point in that game with Devontae Adams and whoever else, just because they were giving him way too much space. You know, Nate Wiggins, he should be a guy who can bump and run, play bump and run coverage, press up on his man, get hands on him, and then if your man gets around the edge, if he's even, he's leaving. That's what they say. If the receiver is even with the DB as he's running downfield on like a go, then he's leaving. But with Nate Wiggins, he's got the closing speed. So I never really understand. I never really understood not playing him like that. Maybe Jesse Minter makes that adjustment. I think he needs to. But yeah. All right. What else we got? What else we got? Oh yeah. How about this? How about this? How about this? So Nnamdi Madubuike. Nnamdi Madubuike. It was said today that Nnamdi Madubuike has been seen at the facility. They've had conversations with Nnamdi, yet they do not want to speak on the status of his future playing football. And I have always been of the school of thought that no news is news. The fact that Nnamdi Madubuike got hurt in September, right? And it is now how many months later? October, November, December, January, February. 5 months, almost 6 months later, there is still no word on whether or not Nnamdi Madubuike is rehabbing to recovery. Is he going to come back and play? We just know he's got a crazy cap hit. What, 32 million? We have no idea. And Jesse Minter and Eric DaCosta have repeatedly said that they're not providing any sort of updates. Now, me as a fan, with that news, I have to operate under the assumption that Nnamdi Madubuike will not be playing football again. That's what I'm operating. I'm operating under the assumption that Nnamdi Madubuike is done with football. Now, I saw my guy Ryan on the Flock Rundown. He made a good point earlier. It's like if you're Madubuike, then you're just gonna keep getting second, third, and fourth opinions from these doctors and whatnot, and kind of string along the Ravens organization. I mean, he didn't say. I'm paraphrasing. He didn't say this verbatim, but I kind of took this from it. Like, kind of string along the Ravens, make them feel like I could come back. But I feel like Madubuike knows in his heart of hearts he probably ain't coming back, which is okay, you know, which is okay. I mean, phenomenal player, just very, very unfortunate that it seems like his career is going to get derailed the way that it did, you know. Cool Breeze says, I'm guessing he shouldn't be playing, but he is trying to get clearance. Well, see, that's the thing. Football is not the game that you want to be playing with nerve injuries like that, like in your neck. Especially when some left guard, center, or right guard is going to be putting his hands, another 300-pound man is going to be putting his hands up around your chest and neck area, trying to keep you, because you're relentless, trying to keep you off of their quarterback. Just not smart. At this point, I don't even think I want to see Madubuike play again. And only because of just like the risk, the sheer risk. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. It is what it is. But look, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here for this episode of Quiet Storm Sports. I appreciate each and every one of y'all coming through. Please, before you get out of here, like the video on YouTube. That would be great. Subscribe to the channel as well. I feel like this was a good one. Somebody's lying. Somebody's lying. Whether it be about Nnamdi Madubuike, whether it be about Lamar Jackson's contract extension, somebody is lying. That's what I'm taking from today's episode. Again, tomorrow, we'll be back live with another episode of Sudden Reactions. So, if you do enjoy that show where I react to pretty much anything and everything outside of sports, that will be live here on the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel, as well as Sudden Reactions as well. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah. So listen, guys, as we always say, stay positive, test negative, never, ever, ever forget, even on the rainiest of days, to call God. I'll catch you guys in the next episode of the show. Be sure to like the video. Peace.